Welcome back to Windy City Live. Our next guest really needs no introduction. You know who he is, and he has a new stand-up special on Netflix. It's called George Lopez. We'll do it for half. George, great to see you. Great to have you back on Windy City Live.
Good to see you, Ryan. Good to see you, Val.
Oh, man, it's so good to see you. I am in love with your setup. Is this home?
Yeah, this is my house there. There's some guitars. I've been trying to, there's some golf clubs. There's some Peter Frampton picture, a Santana guitar. Prince is over my shoulder there.
Yeah.
I've got a few guitars too, but no celebrity guitars. How good can you play those? I know that you're buddies with Santana.
Well, let's just say, I was fortunate enough to have Eddie Van Halen give me a guitar lesson, and he taught me free falling, which is really 1.5 chords. So it tells you my ability that he would just say, listen, why don't you just take free falling and then we'll save that other stuff for down the line.
Right. George, how you been holding up with everything that's going on? The quarantine, COVID, Black Lives Matters. It's just been a lot going on.
There, you're right. There is a lot going on. And unfortunately, to exacerbate it is just the level of, I think, disrespect that we have for each other. You can see the disrespect kind of coming over the years. And then now it's at a head where we're in a life pattern right now where people believe a guy who sprays himself orange but won't believe a scientist. So when you think about what people have fallen for, we're in a situation where I believe that this thing could have happened and been knocked out already in the 2 months if we had all agreed to kind of just remove ourselves from stores and things like that. Not go in there and buy enough toilet paper for your whole family for the rest of your generations, and then, hoard stuff. So, it's a little bit on the road. You could see people are on edge. So, humor's always been great for tough situations, and I don't think there's been a tougher situation than what we're going through right now.
Yeah, and we got a chance to see the Netflix special. How long did you work on this? Because you certainly had it polished and ready to go.
Well, the Netflix, everybody went over to Netflix that was on HBO. Chappelle went over there, Bill Burr went over there, Chris Rock went over there, and Netflix is just this global thing. You even get it with TVs. You get Netflix when you buy a brand new TV. So to go over there and to be able to do this in San Francisco at the Warfield legendary place is great. In the 41 years that I've been doing stand-up, I did a bunch of HBO stuff, but I don't think I've ever had the anticipation, the excitement for this one, just because of where we are, middle of the summer, people not able to go out. I think a lot of people will watch this who won't necessarily maybe have watched any of my other stuff, so it's exciting.
You've been such a groundbreaking comic. When you came up and you got your own show and then you got your late night show, there were not a lot of Latinos in those roles.
I remember looking at Tim Allen right before Tool Time started, and everything that he had in his act was in his show. And I remember thinking, I don't think I have that in my show right now. So over the 10 years of the 90s, I kind of found a way to include my family and make it relevant to us, but it could be anybody. So those 10 years and some constructive criticism was what got me that first show. And nothing makes me prouder than to see it still on and to see kids now, and even being in Sharkboy and Lavagirl, which was a movie that Robert Rodriguez did in 2005. Now it's on Netflix. All the generations are seeing it, and it's crazy to look back on at least the last 20 years and think how far I've come in 20 years. So, but yeah, thank you, Ryan. I am very proud of what I've done.
Let me ask you this. Who's the funniest person in your family besides you?
Well, my grandmother was, I remember when Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, and then she said, it takes two to tango. And I said, come on, Grandma, but the guy's married. He goes, married doesn't mean nothing. It goes, and doing what they're doing. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I said, no, what did they do? And she's like, don't make me say it. You know what they did. And I said, what? And she said, lollipop.
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 George, you've always been able to joke about race, about politics. It seems like nothing's off limit and it's funny. And I always wonder, moving forward, is comedy still going to be a safe place? Because I know a lot of comedians are saying, it's different now. We used to make jokes about race and laugh about it. And now people are saying, oh, well, you need to be more politically correct about certain things.
No, I don't. I think political correctness is fine for in the workplace in situations where, clearly, with human resources and just a level of respect. I mean, this country's made kind of, and the entertainment business has kind of made its way with racial insensitivity, going back to, Gone with the Wind now has a disclaimer. You couldn't do All in the Family now. There's a bunch of, shows that are eliminated because of certain language or certain things, which is okay. But for comedians, I'm not assigned to anyone. I don't have any advertisers anymore, like when I had my talk show. So I think being able to still talk about the issues of what's like NASCAR and the noose in the garage and the whole thing with Bubba Wallace, and then NASCAR saying, that thing's been there. So NASCAR has a noose in the garage, and they're like, that old thing, come on, that's been there for years. Come on. One of the best phrases I ever heard when I started doing stand-up was a guy that said, I don't know the secret to success, but the secret to failure is trying to make everybody happy. And I've been trying to go through that, and you're not going to make everybody happy. You'll say you lose part of your audience, but those people would have never gone with you in the first place. And if there's anything freer than telling the truth, it's being on stage and making people laugh and still being able to tell the truth.
Amen to that, brother. Ain't that the truth? That's something that we can take with us for sure.
Yes,
It's so good to catch up with you. How's your buddy DL Hughley?
DL, they said he had pre-existing conditions. I thought that meant tight clothes and trying to fit a size 8 foot into a size 7 shoe. DL went to a golf course to play, and he needed shoes. They took it off a female mannequin to get shoes for him to wear. DL is, I think it may have been the best thing that happened to him, because it gave him a reason to go to the doctor, when I know that he works hard. He necessarily would not maybe have been the guy to go if he felt fatigued. So, you don't want to wish anything like that on anybody, but I think it got him to go in and get checked. And, he'll be slipping into some size 28 pants in no time.
Still one of my favorite shows ever. You, Cedric the Entertainer, and DL Hughley in studio. We would love to see you back in Chicago when you come back through, buddy.
I love Chicago. Thank you.